going on the phone lines to speak with Lawyer Pong. He is a private legal practitioner and lecturer at the Central University Faculty of Law. Good afternoon and thanks for your time.
Yes, good afternoon.
Now, the EC did make mention of forgery, perjury, impersonation and deceit of public officer as some of the reasons in disqualifying some nominees in this year's presidential elections. Now, is this the first time the EC is taking such an action, and does it mean if it's the first time such mistakes happened?
Well, thank you very much. I don't have the facts, but what I know is that it has always been part of our law, since this law 284, on which the EC are relying in addition to the Criminal and Other Offences Act. Have always been part of our law since 1992. That is the PMC Law 284, and Act 29 has been in our books since the 1950s. So it's always been part of our law. But as the EC rightly pointed out, it is not for them to deal with criminal proceedings. It is only their duty to make a complaint to the police and the Attorney General, who are mandated to commence criminal proceedings in court. It is saying that the state can make a good case against named persons. So I think that's the right thing they have done. It depends on the decision of the Attorney General, who should be informed by their understanding of the law, which I know is solid.
Now, in building up to what you've just said, if there's no prosecution in the end, who should be blamed?
If there's no prosecution, no one should be blamed.
Why?
I think that I'm saying if there's no prosecution, then no one should be blamed. Because whether or not a set of facts can, criminal proceedings can be founded on a set of facts is the exclusive constitutional duty of the Attorney General or other persons who have been authorized by her, as the case may be, to make that determination. And so if that is not done, then it means that in the wisdom of the Attorney General, no offense has been committed, or that the state may not be interested in pursuing that case for what other reason that may be grounded in law.
Now, lawyer, with what you said, would you say that this could be one way or the other affect the country's democracy?
Oh no, I mean, we are practicing the rule of law. The law has, the Constitution has assigned to institutions and some persons their role, and sometimes there are little checks and balances here and there, but they have specific functions to perform. And when they are performing that functions within law, that person, especially independent persons like the Attorney General, EC, they cannot be subject to the direction of others generally. And so I think that we are just strengthening the democracy. But what is also interesting is that in the CI 94, which is the EC's own law, if any of their officers violate a provision of the law, they can face a fine charge, and upon conviction, they may even be they may even suffer 2 years imprisonment, and in addition to even a fine, if appropriate. So it's not only the offending parties who are non-EC officials who can be punished, but the EC officials who violate the law themselves can also be the subject of criminal prosecution.
Now, lawyer, what does this also tell us about how we as Ghanaians handle documents, specifically official documents?
Well, thank you. I think there's perhaps a sociological issue. The first place, you know, the EC themselves may have to reorganize their timetable. First of all, we always wait till the year of election, and even sometimes getting close to it, before we say we are opening books for registration of persons who are otherwise qualified to register to vote. This should be a continuous exercise. Even on the day of election, it should be possible for someone to walk to any of the EC offices, prove that he's a Ghanaian, prove that he's qualified to register, and be registered. Perhaps it is the voting that the person may not be entitled to do. So that if we do this continuously for the next 4 years as well, when you get into election, there will be very little pressure on the issue. So their booths should be open continuously. And also, there's nothing wrong with the EC, maybe 6 months or a year before the election, asking parties to start the processes of even gathering signatures for not even just parties, but people who intend to contest for election. So that 4 months to time, we are very clear and sure of those who are standing. They'll have fair opportunity to assess their documents and so on. And even for those candidates, most of them waited till the last day. So it is a general attitude to work, general attitude to deadlines, which we usually won't comply with, except perhaps when we are dealing with the court. So we need to learn from it, and we will avoid a lot of this stampeding and collusion here and there, which will cause a lot of anguish. People will suffer to get about 2 million Ghana cedis, pay it only to be disqualified, and if it is found out that their act constituted an offense, they also forfeit all that amount. And I think that we need as a nation to sit down generally and reorient ourselves when even presidential elections can be held in October. And we decide to hold it on the last day, which is 7th of December.
All right. Well, thank you very much, sir. Having speaking with your opponent, he's a legal practitioner and lecturer at the Central University Faculty of Law.